I grip the steering wheel a little tighter, crawling our minivan through new Wisconsin snow. Christmas lights shimmer across the windshield, all fractured and scattered, like promises that didn't quite hold. Miles sits beside me, squeezing my hand. His paramedic's grip is steady, while my fingers can't seem to quit trembling. "You okay?" he asks, quiet. "Fine," I say, even though it's not true. The wipers scrape back and forth, fighting the gentle flakes. Honestly, we both know what's waiting for us at my parents' perfect colonial, those magazine-perfect wreaths, every light outside in its exact place. In the back, Nora and Finn hold their homemade gifts, peppermint brownies wrapped in parchment, tied with candy cane ribbons they made themselves. Finn bounces his legs, running his finger along the edge of a Christmas card he spent hours coloring. As we pull into my parents' driveway, I remind them, remember what we talked about? Christmas isn't about the gifts. It's about being together. Nora nods, looking older than 9. Presents, not presents, she says. That's our mantra these days, ever since Miles's ambulance shifts got cut back 3 months ago. We get out. The treats feel heavier in my arms with every step toward that front door. The wreath hanging there probably cost more than our whole Christmas budget. Before we can even ring, Mom opens the door. She looks spotless, of course, cream sweater, pearls, her smile tight and too practiced. "There you are," she says, air-kissing my cheek. "Remember, we all agreed no gifts this year." Relief sweeps over me. I've been dreading this, scared our money troubles would show. "Right," I say, my shoulders finally dropping. The kids made brownies and cards. She glances at our offerings like she's seeing something foreign. "How thoughtful. You can put them by the appetizers." Inside, the house smells like pine and cinnamon, like something out of a painting. Dad comes out of his study, pats Finn on the head, hugs Nora a bit longer. "Merry Christmas, you too." Then he turns to me. "Sarah, the Johnsons next door just bought a boat. In December." He shakes his head, half admiring, half bewildered. I set the brownies next to crystal dishes filled with catered snacks. Nora carefully arranges the cards on the table. Finn just stares at the massive tree, no presents underneath, just like we said. The knot in my stomach starts to loosen. "Can we play in the basement, Mom?" Finn asks. "Sure, honey. Keep it down." The minutes crawl by. Dad brags about golf, Mom grills Miles about his job, I answer questions about school and sneak looks at the clock. Then, the front door bursts open. Lydia, my younger sister, whirls in, all energy and cold air, Reed right behind her, arms loaded with glossy bags and perfectly wrapped boxes. Their teenage boys trail in, faces already glowing in the light of new phones. "We're here," Lydia announces, like the party couldn't start without her. She shrugs off a coat that probably costs more than my mortgage. Mom lights up, clapping. "You've arrived. Let's open gifts." The words hit me hard. I glance at Miles. His jaw goes tight. Our kids come up from the basement, confusion written all over them as their cousins unload a mountain of presents under the tree. "I thought we agreed no gifts," I whisper to Mom while Lydia directs her boys. Dad sighs, loud and dramatic. "Don't start, Sarah. You always take things too seriously." Lydia smirks, adjusting her cashmere. "Relax, it's Christmas. We did what we could. Don't make a scene." My kids stand at the edge of it all, watching their cousins rip through wrapping paper, Apple Watches. A gaming laptop Dad casually mentions cost $1,400, but worth every penny. Disneyland tickets handed out with a flourish. Nora's got her card clutched in her fist, the paper crumpling. That little bit of pride she had before? It's slipping away. Finn scoots closer, his small hand finding mine. The chaos of expensive gifts spins around me, and suddenly I'm back in old memories, sharp, pointed flashes of how things have always gone. 14 years old, skipping summer camp so Lydia could go to cheerleading. "You're so practical, Sarah," Mom had said, her praise feeling more like a bill I'd have to pay. 23, co-signing Lydia's first apartment because she had no credit. "You're so responsible," everyone said, like responsibility was some kind of runner-up prize for being less loved. 28, a small wedding because your sister might get engaged soon, and we wouldn't want to overshadow her. Now, I watch my kids' faces drop while their cousins brag about their shiny new gifts. Something inside me shifts, not with anger, not really, but with a kind of cold, clear certainty. I start helping the kids into their coats. The party keeps going behind us. We're heading home early, I say, trying to make it sound casual. The kids need to get ready for school tomorrow. But we haven't even had dessert. Mom's honestly surprised, like she can't imagine we'd walk away before the real show, the part where we watch and stay small. You can enjoy our brownies. Merry Christmas, I say. My voice sounds strange, even to me steady, unyielding. I'm not apologizing. I'm not making excuses. That small act of rebellion tastes better than anything they're serving for dessert. In the car, snowflakes tumble in the headlights. Finn's voice cuts through the quiet. Are we poor, Mom? I catch Miles's eyes in the rearview mirror. He gets it. He's always gotten it. No, honey, I say, reaching back to squeeze Finn's knee. We just believe some things matter more than stuff. We drive away from a house that never felt like home. And for the first time, I realize the weight I've carried all these years isn't about duty or being responsible. It's about letting myself shrink, just so everyone else could spread out. Tonight, I feel that weight start to lift. Later, I lie awake next to Miles, watching moonlight drift across the ceiling. The house is peaceful, the kids asleep, but my mind is going wild, restless, electric. My body feels lighter, not sad or angry, just incredibly clear-headed, like I've stepped outside my old self. I slip out of bed, careful not to wake Miles. His shifts have only gotten harder since the overtime cuts. The floor creaks as I walk into the kitchen. I switch on the kettle and grab chamomile tea, Mom's answer for everything. Tea soothes everything, Sarah, she'd say, usually while dodging whatever real problem was right in front of her. The laptop glows in the dark kitchen. I open my banking app and scroll through months of transactions, finally seeing the patterns I've ignored for years. The evidence piles up, like snow blocking a door I can't push open anymore. There's the property insurance for my parents' house, $7.20 on my card, almost 13 months ago. I remember Dad's casual call, "We're between accounts, sweetie. Just temporary." Then Mom's cell phone bill, $32 a month, for 4 years now. Just until we figure out a better plan, she'd said. For years of figuring, apparently. Lydia's emergency dental bill, $110, wired to her within an hour of her sobbing call. 3 weeks later, her Instagram is all Cabo beaches and perfect teeth. I keep scrolling. Shared subscriptions, membership fees, random expenses, every one of them somehow mine to cover. Names and numbers blur together until I open a new spreadsheet and title it, Reclaiming. Line by line, I enter every service, every dollar, every broken promise. With each one, my breathing gets steadier. Netflix family plan, $19.99 a month for the whole clan. Amazon Prime, $14.99, divided among them. Verizon family plan, $158.75, split but always on me. Spotify, LA Fitness. Dad added himself 2 years ago. It adds up to over $2,600 a year, the same money we could have used for Nora's swimming lessons, $95 a month. She begged. The furnace repair, $1,100, postponed again. Or Miles's nursing certification, a 30% bump in his pay. I stare at the numbers. What am I really buying with this money? The answer is obvious. Their convenience, paid for with our future. My finger hovers over the mouse. Inside, something shifts, not with any big scene, just the quiet click of a lock turning at last. I start with Netflix. 3 clicks and the extra profiles are gone. Amazon takes longer. I have to kick off each user, one by one. The Verizon site is a headache, but by 3 a.m., I've moved 3 lines off our account. Subscription after subscription, I cut the financial cords we've tangled up over the years. I'm not angry. I just feel this calm, almost mechanical focus, like I'm finally fixing a math mistake that's been bugging me forever. The gym membership is the best part. Dad ranted last month about the price hike to $39.99. I hit cancel without a second thought. When I'm done, the room feels lighter. I add a new column to the spreadsheet, reclaimed. The monthly total, $217, glows on the screen like something I've been owed for years. The kitchen light flicks on. Miles stands in the doorway, hair wild, worry written all over his face. "It's 5 in the morning," he says, moving to the kettle. "You okay?" "I think I will be," I say, turning the laptop toward him. For the first time in ages, I actually mean it. He glances at the spreadsheet, not even surprised, pouring hot water into a mug. "I've wanted to suggest this for years," he admits. "Why didn't you?" He shrugs. "Wasn't my battle." He sets a fresh cup of tea next to me. "So what changed tonight?" The memory is immediate. Nora's face, clutching her handmade card while her cousins ripped open expensive presents. The pride in her eyes faded out, like a candle snuffed by wind. "Nora," I whisper, my throat tight. When she thought her card wasn't good enough. "I'm done letting them make our kids feel less." Miles puts his hand on my shoulder, warm and steady. "There will be fallout," he warns. "Your mom doesn't do change." I sip my tea. There's something beyond chamomile in it. Maybe it's relief. "I know. Let's get some sleep. We'll need it." He helps me close the laptop and I leave the reclaiming for tomorrow's fights. As we walk back to bed, I look at the kids' doors. Nora, behind one, sleeps with her koala, probably dreaming of swimming pools and sunshine. Behind the other, Finn is tangled up with his dinosaur, blissfully untouched by grown-up drama. For them, I'd take 1,000 Vivian guilt trips. I'd walk through whatever storm hits when my phone starts buzzing with demands and accusations. Back in bed, Miles wraps his arm around me. "Proud of you," he whispers into my hair. The words sink into me, pushing out years of obligation and leaving behind something lighter, something real. Right before sleep takes me, I realize what's different. That crushing need to make everyone happy, it's gone. I can breathe for the first time. Tomorrow will be chaos. But tonight, I rest in the certainty that some boundaries, once drawn, don't get erased. At exactly 8 a.m., my phone starts vibrating across the nightstand like an angry wasp. I ignore it, soaking up a quiet breakfast with Miles and the kids downstairs. The buzzing stops for a second, then starts up again. And again. By the time I check, there are 47 missed calls. Texts pour in, "Vivian, what have you done?" "Lydia, Mom's crying. Fix this now." "Gordon, your mother can't reach her friends." This is unacceptable. I flip the phone face down, pour myself a cup of coffee, and, maybe for the first time, actually taste it. Warmth slides down my throat while chaos buzzes against the granite. "That bad?" Miles asks, eyeing my upside-down phone. "That good?" I tell him, and mean it. Peace, for a moment. Then pounding explodes at the front door. I open it and there are my parents, both furious. Behind them, 2 police officers look like they'd rather be anywhere else. "This is my daughter," Vivian announces, pearls catching the weak winter sun. "She hacked our accounts and stole our services." The younger officer, Murphy, his badge says, clears his throat. He looks embarrassed and tired. "Ma'am, can you explain what's going on?" "Of course." I step aside and let them in. The officers come in. My parents hover in the doorway, like vampires waiting for an invitation. "Coffee?" I offer. "This isn't a social call," Gordon snaps. Officer Murphy nods yes to coffee. His partner shakes his head. I grab the folder I prepped at 4 a.m., packed with printouts, every account, every payment, all in my name. I spread them out on the kitchen table. "These accounts are all in my name," I say, looking my parents square in the eye. "I've been paying their bills for years. One day, I just stopped." The older officer looks over the papers, nods like he's seen this 100 times. "Looks like a civil family matter, not a crime." He turns to my parents. "These accounts are in your daughter's name. She can cancel what she pays for." Vivian jumps in. "But she didn't even warn us. We were watching shows." Gordon missed his golf tournament. The officers glance at each other. "Still a civil matter. Best to work it out as a family." They give me a quick, almost sorry nod and head out. From the porch, Vivian's voice cuts through the air. "Family doesn't do this." I'm at the doorway, gripping the frame. "Exactly. Family doesn't take advantage and call it love." Gordon jabs a finger at me. After everything we've done for you, Dad. I cut him off, voice low. I'm grateful, really. But that doesn't mean I owe you unlimited financial support forever. They leave in a storm of slammed doors and screeching tires. Inside, Nora and Finn peek out from behind the stairs. Why were the police here? Nora asks, eyes big. I crouch down. Grandma and Grandpa were upset about something grown up. The police just explained everything's fine. Are we in trouble? Finn whispers. No, honey. Sometimes adults disagree. They have to work it out. By the afternoon, the family group chat lights up like a pinball machine. Vivian goes first. We're heartbroken. Not how we raised her. Lydia chimes in. Can't believe my own sister ruined Christmas and left us without phones. You can't make this stuff up. Then Uncle George, what's going on with Sarah? I start typing a reply, then stop. Out of nowhere, Aunt Joan jumps in. Good for you, Sarah. I did the same thing last year with my son. Had to stop the financial bleeding. My cousin Sarah hits the thumbs up. An hour later, both Vivian and Lydia have left the chat. When the phone finally goes quiet, the house feels bigger. I can breathe again. For the first time in years, my shoulders actually drop. That night, while the kids finish homework, Miles and I sit at the dining table. I open a new spreadsheet and call it add back. The cursor blinks, waiting. Swimming lessons for Nora and Finn, $95 a month. I type, and I can't help but smile. Miles leans in. Weekend cabin getaway in Door County this spring. New tablet for your paramedic certification, I add. We're both laughing now, naming the file No Guilt Budget. The total matches almost exactly what I'd been sending my family all these years. What about your parents? Miles asks, warm hand over mine. We wait, I say. We didn't take anything from them. We just stopped giving what they never appreciated. The next morning, only one text from Vivian. Are we still invited to the children's winter recital? I stare at it, not sure if it's an olive branch or a trap. The old me would have rushed to smooth things over, to please, to give in. Not this time. I read it, but set the phone down. Finn shuffles into the kitchen in dinosaur pajamas. Mom, can I have waffles? Frozen or homemade? I ask. Homemade. He flashes a toothless grin. As I mix the batter, something clicks. People always say it's cruel to set boundaries. But real cruelty is letting others take so much that your own kids go without. My phone sits on the counter, waiting for my answer on my terms when I'm ready. The waffle iron beeps. I pour in the batter, steady hands. A week later, I look at my phone again. Vivian's message still sits there. Are we still invited to the children's winter recital? I finally reply, yes, please come on time. No gifts, please. She writes back with a single period. Nothing else. My stomach knots up, but I'm done second-guessing myself. Everything okay? Miles asks, walking by with a laundry basket. Just mom being mom. I slide the phone away. She confirmed for the recital. You sure you want them there? No judgment, just gentle concern. The kids deserve their grandparents' support, I say. As long as they follow the rules. The phone buzzes again. A message pops up from Aunt Beverly. Your mom told me you're having money problems. We can help if you need. Then Uncle Steve chimes in. Heard about what's going on. You and Miles okay? My face gets hot as I realize what's happening. The rumors have started. Over the next week, the whispers just snowball. Cousin Jenny calls, all syrupy concern. I heard you're having some kind of breakdown. Then my second cousin, haven't heard from her in 3 years, emails. Your sister says you've gotten really materialistic. Even my mom's bridge partner corners me at the grocery store. Such a shame about Miles controlling your money, she clucks. I load each tomato slowly, wanting to snap back. That's not true, Barbara, I say instead, keeping my voice calm. But thanks for your concern. That night, Miles's parents call. They almost never get involved, so their worry feels real, not just nosy. We've been hearing some strange things, his mom says, kind of awkward. Something about you cutting off your parents? Miles grabs the phone. Sarah's finally standing up for herself, he says, squeezing my hand. We're fine, actually. We're better than we've been in years. His mom lets out this long sigh. It's about time. We've always worried about how your family treated you. Their support soothes something raw in me. But later, as I help Nora run through her recorder solo for the 5th time, reality barges in again. Why is Grandma saying mean things about you two, Aunt Lydia? Nora asks, lowering her instrument. I heard them on the phone yesterday when I went to the bathroom. My heart skips. You heard Grandma on the phone at their house? She nods. She didn't know I was there. She said you were being selfish and ungrateful. I sit down next to her on the bed, searching for the right words. Sometimes grown-ups disagree about what's fair. Grandma and I are working through something hard. Nora's eyes, so much like mine, search my face. Is it because we didn't get big presents like Cousin Tyler? That question stings. No, sweetheart. I brush her hair back. It's because adults need boundaries too, just like you have rules at school. What's a boundary? She asks. Remember when Jason kept taking your art supplies without asking? She nods hard. Mrs. Miller made him stop. That's a boundary. Sometimes even grown-ups need to tell people to stop taking things. Understanding dawns on her face. Did Grandma take your things? Something like that, I say. But we'll figure it out. As the recital gets closer, the tension ramps up. Finn practices his lines for the class play over and over at breakfast, determined to nail them. Will Grandma and Grandpa come? He asks, wrestling into his costume, a tree, complete with branches miles made out of pipe cleaners and felt. They said they would, I tell him, though I'm not sure. I fuss with his costume, pinning the shoulders so it fits. The night of the recital, the first real snow falls. Big white flakes drift past the school's floodlights. Families hurry inside, shaking off the cold. Nora grips her recorder, hands trembling. Finn bounces on his toes, scanning the crowd. There's Tyler, he shouts. My sister's family comes in, Lydia waving big, but her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. No sign of my parents. Places everyone, Mrs. Peterson calls, corralling the kids backstage. I squeeze Nora's shoulder. You'll do great. Just breathe. The lights dim at 7 sharp. Principal Warner cracks his usual winter joke about talent showing up with the snow, and the parents laugh politely. The kindergartners sing about snowflakes, missing half the words, but making up for it with enthusiasm. 15 minutes in, a commotion breaks out at the back. The 3rd graders' winter wonderland falters as people turn to look. My parents make their entrance, making a whole row stand up so they can squeeze into the seats I saved. Vivian's pearl earrings flash in the stage lights, Gordon mumbling sorry to everyone as they pass. My stomach drops when I see the gift bags in Lydia's hands. Of course. They couldn't follow one simple rule. Finn's class performs next, their play about the seasons drawing a round of laughter. Then Nora's group takes the stage, and her eyes find mine. I give her a quick nod, and she jumps right into her solo, nails every note. For a second, I actually feel proud enough to forget about the storm I know is coming. After the last bow, everyone drifts into the cafeteria for punch and cookies. I'm helping Mrs. Peterson set up the table when I spot Lydia heading toward Nora and Finn, arms full of wrapped packages. We brought something special for our stars, she announces, her voice all bright for Carrie's benefit. I step in, blocking her path to my kids. We said no gifts, Lydia. Please just respect that. They're just little tokens, she insists, louder now, making sure the other parents hear. Don't be so controlling. No means no, I say, quiet but firm. If you want to see them, visit next weekend instead. Lydia's face twists. This is ridiculous, she hisses. You're punishing the children because you're mad at us. Heads turn. The room goes heavy and quiet. My palms start sweating, but I stand my ground. The kids are doing great, I say, steady. They know they're loved. They don't need expensive gifts. Lydia just stares at me, then storms out, clutching her gift bag. Gordon trails after her, glaring at me, a look that would have rattled me a few weeks ago, but not now. Vivian hangs back, uncertain. She watches Nora help a kindergartner reach the cookie tray, Finn showing off his tree costume. They worked so hard, she whispers, her voice softer than I've ever heard. They did, I say. That's worth more than any present. She hesitates, squeezes my arm, then follows my dad out. It's not exactly an olive branch, but it feels close. As I start tossing empty punch cups, Mrs. Peterson comes over. Your kids are so grounded, Sarah. Not wrapped up in stuff like a lot of kids these days. I blink, caught off guard. Lisa Morgan chimes in too. It's nice to see someone actually setting limits around the holidays. We're drowning in junk every year. For the first time since this whole boundaries mess started, I feel lighter. Not vindicated exactly, but seen. And it means more than I expected. Driving home through soft falling snow, Finn pipes up from the back seat. Why did Aunt Lydia leave so fast? I meet Miles's eyes. She had somewhere to be, I say. Finn won't let it go. But she brought us presents. Before I can answer, Nora cuts in, sounding older than she is. Like Mom said, boundaries. Aunt Lydia has to learn about those. I catch her in the rearview, and there it is, a quiet confidence in her eyes that looks a lot like the strength I'm only just finding myself. It fills me with this fierce, protective joy, brighter than any Christmas light. 3 days after the recital, I'm gripping my coffee mug when the doorbell rings. The kids are still upstairs, building pillow forts. Miles glances over his paper, eyebrow up. Not expecting anyone, I mutter, setting down my mug. The bell rings again, sharper this time. That impatient rhythm, I know it. My mother. I open the door and there they are, my parents, unannounced and clearly not here for a friendly chat. Dad's jaw is set, Mom's clutching her purse like a shield. We need to talk, Gordon says, already pushing past me into the living room. Vivian follows, perfume trailing behind like a warning. This has gone on long enough. I close the door slowly, counting to 5, trying to remember what those library books on family dynamics said to do in moments like this. They never mentioned how fast your heart can race, or how your throat closes up when your own parents barge in. Gordon plants himself square in the middle of our living room, eyeing the toys on the floor like they're evidence against me. Do you know how much we gave up for you? He snaps. The vacations we never took? Vivian jumps in, voice trembling just right. We borrowed from our retirement for your braces. I worked 2 jobs when your father lost his. Here comes the guilt, right on cue, but then it breaks up and drifts away before it can settle. Something clears. And I've been paying off that debt my whole life, I say. My hands are shaking, but my voice stays steady. Not just with money. With all the emotional work, too. Miles comes in from the kitchen, mug in hand, and stands behind me. He doesn't say a word, just stays close enough that I can feel his support, solid and warm. I take a breath. I think it's time we actually talk about this. I walk over to the little desk in the corner, the one I set up just for this. My hands find the blue folder. It looks like nothing special, but I know what's inside. Gordon rolls his eyes. What's this? More theatrics, he says, already annoyed. I ignore him, open the folder on the coffee table, and lay out the first spreadsheet. The numbers line up, neat and cold. There it is, every dollar I've given over the last 10 years. I point at the list. That's $7,200 in loans. Never paid back. $4,800 for phones and subscriptions, $3,750 when you needed help in an emergency. Gordon just stares, mouth opening and closing, completely lost for words. I've never asked for any of it back, I say. My voice doesn't shake now. But I do expect you to respect our boundaries from here out. Vivian reaches for the spreadsheet. Her nails are perfect, but her hand trembles. This can't be right. I flip to the next page. Here's the holiday gifts, 5 years worth. The difference between what our family gets and what Lydia gets? Almost $4,000. Gordon's face goes pale. He scans the numbers and anger drains away, replaced by something like shock. His shoulders just drop. I didn't realize it was this much. It's not just about the money, I say, though honestly, a part of me wants to scream that it is. That money could have paid for Miles's certification, swimming lessons, fixing the furnace. But it's the pattern too. You take, and then I'm supposed to feel guilty if I say no. Miles moves behind me, steady and warm. I glance back and catch the gold in his eyes, bright in the morning light. I turn to my parents. Here's what changes, I say, sitting on the arm of the sofa. My voice surprises me, strong, no nonsense. No more financial expectations. We're focused on our kids. Gordon tries to cut me off, but I hold up my hand, stopping him. Equal treatment for both families, or we limit contact. Respect our boundaries. No more surprise visits. You call first. Gordon drops onto the couch. The leather creaks. He looks older suddenly, years older. The lines on his face are deeper than I remember. We didn't see it as taking advantage, he says, voice small. Vivian dabs her eyes, careful not to mess up her makeup. We just thought, since you're so capable, being capable doesn't mean I have to carry everyone, I tell them. I try to soften my voice. That's not fair to me, or to Miles, or to the kids. The room goes quiet, just the old grandfather clock ticking away in the corner. Upstairs, someone giggles, one of the kids. That's why I'm doing this. Gordon stares at the floor. What about Lydia? He asks. I shake my head. That's between you and her. I'm only taking care of my family now. Vivian finally nods, her fingers twisting her scarf. Maybe we did favor her without realizing. You did, I say, not unkindly, but I don't sugarcoat it. But we can start over if you want to try. Gordon looks like he's shrinking. For the first time, I see him as just a man, not the all-powerful figure from my childhood, a man who made choices, some of them hurtful, even if he didn't mean to. So, where does that leave us? He sounds tired. I close the folder. That's up to you. My boundaries are set. The next move is yours. Miles comes to stand by me, slips his hand into mine. Vivian looks at our hands, then at me, and something changes in her face. Maybe she finally sees me. Maybe she respects me a little. We should go, she says to Gordon. Give everyone time to think. They start to gather themselves. Just then, Nora appears at the top of the stairs, Finn peeking out behind her. Grandma? Grandpa, she calls down, all confusion. They were just leaving, sweetheart, I say. They came by without calling. Vivian pauses at the door, her hand on the frame. We'll call next time, she manages, like it's a new language. Once they're gone, Miles pulls me close. I rest against him, listening to his heartbeat. You did it, he whispers. We did, I tell him. And we'll keep doing it one boundary at a time. The kids thunder down the stairs, full of questions and Sunday morning chaos. When I turn to answer them, something new ripples through me, light and easy, like sheets snapping on a line, or that sudden, unexpected taste of freedom. 6 months pass. Now, sunlight spills over my shoulders as I kneel with Nora in our backyard. She presses the soil around a tiny tomato plant, careful and gentle in a way that surprises me. The scent of fresh earth fills my chest. Careful with that one, I say, guiding her fingers. The stems break easy. The house feels different these days, lighter. The walls almost breathe. Nobody calls with sudden family emergencies. My inbox stays quiet. No surprise bills lurking. Grandma called when you were out, Nora says, watching me from under her hair. She wants to know if we want to go fishing with Grandpa next weekend. Just us, not Cousin Tyler. I dust my hands off. Would you like that? Nora nods, sunlight catching the copper in her hair. Grandpa says he'll show me how to bait my own hook. The doorbell rings. I glance at my watch. Vivian, right on time for once. 6 months ago, she'd have shown up out of nowhere or been 20 minutes late, no apologies. I open the door. My mom stands there, holding a small gift bag. She wears the same cream sweater I remember, not new, and I notice that now. We said no gifts, she says, her voice a bit unsure. But I found Nora's baby book in the attic. Thought you might want it. Come in, I say, and realize my shoulders aren't tense for once. No invisible pressure as she steps inside. The air between us feels clear, not quite warm, but getting there, like spring after a hard winter. That evening, my phone buzzes. Gordon, texting. Lydia wants to know if you'll host the 4th of July. The whole family. Before, I'd have said yes without thinking, then spent weeks strutting it. This time, I just type, we're planning a small gathering this year. No excuses. No long explanation. Just a boundary. Miles sees my smile as I put the phone down. A year ago, you'd have said yes and hated every minute, he says. I fold laundry, slow and calm. I finally get it. I'm not in charge of everyone's happiness. just ours. The calendar on the fridge looks different now. Family counseling once a month, not constant chaos. Lydia came once, rolled her eyes, and never came back. But Gordon and Vivian still show up, trying, even if they fumble. Our no-guilt budget paid for swimming lessons for both kids. Finn doesn't ask if we're poor anymore. Nora stands taller at school concerts, confidence growing like our tomatoes. We spend weekends in Door County, not running errands for relatives who never say thank you. Miles is working on his certification, staying up late, eyes bright with purpose. At the neighborhood barbecue last week, I watched Susan flinch as her mother-in-law nitpicked her potato salad. Later, she found me by the drinks. They expect us to host every holiday, she said, shredding her napkin. But nothing's ever right. I told her my story, simple and true. You can love people without letting them eat you alive. Summer slips into fall. The calendar fills up, but now it's a careful balance, family, yes, but also time just for us. We're getting ready for the holidays, but the rules are different. A card comes from Aunt Joanne. Proud of you for showing us a better way. I set it next to a photo of the four of us, Miles, Nora, Finn, laughing by the lake last August. Beside it, a smaller frame, my parents. That relationship is healing, but it's finally the right size. Mom, Finn calls from the living room, halfway done with a Lego fortress. Grandma wants to know if we can come for Thanksgiving, but only if we want to. She says it's okay if we've got other plans. I meet Miles's eyes. Progress. That night, with the kids asleep and the house quiet, I write in my journal. I couldn't make my family honest, but I could make my home fair. I couldn't stop them from taking, but I could stop giving what they never valued. Love without boundaries isn't love, it's servitude. Real love lets everyone stand tall. I close the journal, listening to my children breathing down the hall. Some gifts, like peace and self-respect, can't be wrapped, but they're the ones that last.